we're gonna talk timecode. Now, timecode may not be particularly sexy, but it is so damn convenient when using multiple recording devices. The reason why I've chosen this spot is because there's quite a bit of noise. I've got a ton of background noise, and I just want to show that there really is a good reason to use timecode. And there's a new camera that's coming out, the Sony FX30. It has timecode support built into it, and that for someone like myself who records everything, not everything, but a lot of audio externally on this Zoom F6, it's a big deal. It really is. So it will streamline my workflow quite a bit. So what I wanted to do today in this video is just kind of explain how I use timecode in my workflow and use some of the different microphones. I've brought a couple of the different microphones along with me so that we can hear what they sound like as well. I've got this Tentacle Sync, it's called the Track E, and this is a 32-bit float recorder that connects with a lavalier microphone, which I have in this little pouch. I've got this microphone, which is the Electro Voice RE20. And the other cool thing that I'm going to show you is how you can actually sync your GoPro to the Tentacle Sync system, which is what I'm currently using for timecode. I am here at the Charles River. I've got some incredible wildlife in the background here that, you know, Casey over at Camera Conspiracies would have a field day. Of course, I didn't bring, I have a 70-200 with the 2x teleconverter that I left at home because I was planning on doing this. And here I am with this beautiful, you know, blue heron in the background. It's unbelievable. Of course, timing is everything in life, and I timed this very poorly. Let's go ahead and get started. Let me just explain how the Tentacle Sync system works. So first things first, I need to fire up these two devices. Again, these are the two Tentacle Sync devices, and there's just a little switch on the side that you can turn on both of these. So I'll go ahead and do that now. Now, what you'll see is this is flashing red, and now I've got to actually sync things up here on my phone. So one of the things that you want to make sure whenever you're using timecode is that you have everything set to the same frame rate. That is one of the most critical things here when you're doing timecode, because if you don't, then things are going to be all out of whack when you go ahead and try to sync everything up in post. Now, the nice thing about filming in 30p is that as long as the timecode is a multiple of 30, then you're in good shape. So if you film in, let's say 4K 60 or 4K 120, you should still be able to sync that up in post. I've done a couple of different experiments using 4K 30 and also 4K 120, actually 1080p 120, and that has worked just fine in terms of getting timecode to sync up. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into the Tentacle app. Okay, so this is the Tentacle app, and basically you can see that nothing is synced. It's got a yellow bar up at the top. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on the timecode generator itself. And it's got a time up at the top, so I can click on the time, and it'll ask me whether I want to set it to the phone time or not, so I'm gonna go ahead and click yes. Okay, so you can see now that it's in green. Now what I want to do is sync all of the devices to this device. So there's a button down at the bottom here that says sync to device. Just click on that, and then it asks, do you want to sync all or sync red mode only? So basically, if you have other devices that are already running in Tentacle, so if I added another unit and I didn't want to disturb any of the other units, I could just sync to that one device. But in this case, I want to do it for everything because I haven't synced anything. There it goes, and now at the top it says ready. So now that everything is up and running, now we have the ability to hook everything up to both the camera and set up the lav mic so that it's going to start recording. Now, before we do that, let's also do a couple of other things in terms of syncing everything up with the Tentacle Sync app. So what I'm going to do is I have my Zoom F6 right here. I'm going to power this on. This was the Video Mic NTG that I had on top of the camera. Now you're listening to the audio from the camera itself, so you can see what a difference an on-camera shotgun microphone makes. This is, again, the Video Mic NTG, and this thing is awesome. It does a really nice job. So you just want to sync up this device here with my Zoom F6. So if you see here, there's a spot here for timecode. It's this one right here where it says timecode. So when I plug this device into this Zoom F6, you're going to see it's going to automatically change the clock. Boom. The nice thing is now I am plugged in, and it is running the timecode that is consistent with. So maybe I can do a screenshot here where you can see the two side by side. I think actually it might be off by like a couple of frames, and Tentacle Sync knows about it. And now I'm gonna go ahead and pull this out. I have now gone ahead and attached the Tentacle Sync e-box to my A7 IV into the 3.5mm jack. I am also now recording on this lavalier microphone, and this should sound pretty good. All right, so what's next up here? So let's do maybe the GoPro, and I can show you how that works. I'm gonna jump into my phone, and they have this app called Time Bar. You can see it on there, the bottom there, and it's showing me the devices that are currently running within the Tentacle Sync app. So now I can simply go into the one that is generating the time code. You can see here, there's a QR code that I can scan from my GoPro, and it will automatically adjust the time code in the GoPro and sync up with whatever I have in Tentacle Sync. It is freaking amazing. One thing you will note is that, I don't know if it shows up on there, but there is some like beta software that you need to install. I forgot what it's called, GoPro Labs or something like that. So you've got to install that GoPro Labs in order to get this particular functionality. But now all I'm gonna do is I'm going to scan that barcode. All right, I'm gonna put it right next to my lav mic, so maybe it will pick it up. Okay, did you hear that? That was the timecode sync. That little beep beep, so it read that picture. So now I could just simply fire this up and start recording on the GoPro and have the same audio on all of the audio is all on the same, using the same timecode, including the GoPro. So if I decided to just go walk around with my GoPro, I could absolutely do that, right? Easy enough. I love it. As a police officer drives by in his motorcycle, if you're looking at me like, what the hell is this guy doing? That concludes here the in-field setup of the Tentacle Sync and the timecode usage. I will see you back in the office where I will show you how it all comes together within DaVinci Resolve and how quickly you can sync your audio in post. Let's go. Okay, I've downloaded all of the footage onto my computer, both the video and the audio clips. Now I'm going to go ahead and jump into DaVinci Resolve and match everything up easily, like ridiculously easy. When you see how easy this is, you're going to be like, you're going to want to run out and go get a bunch of stuff with timecode because it is so easy and it makes your life wonderful. All right, so in DaVinci Resolve, I'm going to click on Import Media, and I'm just going to select everything that I shot throughout the day, both the video and the audio clips. Click on Open. And it's important to select the proper type, so you don't want to update the timecode on the audio tracks because those already have timecode built into them, but you do want to do it on some of the video clips because those were the ones that we were running the Tentacle Sync into. So notice over here, the starting timecode, some of these are going to be updated automatically when I go ahead and update the timecode from audio track. Boom. Do you see that over here on the left-hand side between the start timecode and the ending timecode? Some of these automatically updated, and the ones that updated were the ones, again, that we were running the timecode into. So now next here, in order to sync this up, all I have to do is select these other two audio clips, and I'm going to right mouse click and hit Auto Sync Audio, and it gives two options, either based on timecode or based on timecode and append tracks. For this particular example, I'm going to choose to append the tracks because I have multiple external audio that I've recorded for some of these clips. But most of the time, I'm just going to do based on timecode, and it will replace the audio track that was found on the video clip itself. But again, since I'm using multiple clips here, multiple audio sources, I want to make sure that I include everything. There you go. So now you can see over on the right-hand side, it will show the synced audio. And if you go in here and you look at clip attributes, you can see here, here's all of my audio, right? So I've got embedded channel 1 and channel 2. That is what was on the camera itself, the microphone. And then I've got a mono track here, the track 1 linked. This is the F6. So this is the RE20 that was being recorded into the F6. And then I have the track E. This is just a random clip of, something I shot here with the GoPro. And
you can see I've already labeled my timeline. On the top here, I've got the MKE200. Next is the RE20, and then lastly is the Trackie. So we're going to go through these individually so you can hear the difference between them. So let's just start off with listening to this MKE200 with a GoPro.
If you have the time to set up external audio for a GoPro, think about this. You can, set up a GoPro and just be on the run and have this, little Zoom F6 and be off and running and get fantastic audio when you're out vlogging with a GoPro.
Okay, so that's an example of the MKE200 that was actually on the GoPro itself. Now let's try the lav mic.
If you have the time to set up external audio for a GoPro, think about this. You can, set up a GoPro and just be on the run and have this, little Zoom F6 and be off and running and get fantastic audio when you're out vlogging with a GoPro.
A little bit better, actually a lot better than the MKE200. I think it does a lot better job of, maybe not a lot better job, but a little bit better job of rejecting the water in the background. But now let's listen to the RE20.
If you have the time to set up external audio for a GoPro, think about this. You can, set up a GoPro and just be on the run and have this, little Zoom F6 and be off and running and get fantastic audio when you're out vlogging with a GoPro.
So I've got all three options there. Obviously the RE20 to me sounds the best. I'm sure it does to you as well. But the real purpose of this video is to show the power of Timecode. I've got three different options here. It's all about options. And I've got three different options that all can be used if I chose to use them, but you can pick and choose, and there's tremendous flexibility in there. But more importantly, this took seconds, literally seconds, to get synced up. So you'll notice in all of those clips using the different microphones that they were all perfectly, and you can see it here in the waveform, right? Where they're all just perfectly in sync. And that is the beauty of Timecode. So if you are planning on using an external recorder, I would say Timecode is like 100% necessary, because trying to coordinate or trying to match up the audio waveforms, I did that for, I won't say the better part of a year. It sucked. It was bad. There have been many instances of me trying to match up clips in the past where using the audio waveform where it just didn't work. And I'd have to spend like hours sometimes trying to get them to match up. So Timecode allows you to do that. It does it automatically, so you don't have to waste any time on syncing up your audio input. Anyways, that's all I have today. If you have any questions about Timecode and how I use it, please drop a comment down below. If you did like this video, make sure that you smash the like button and also click the subscribe button down below to be notified of future videos. Thanks for watching. Take care.